Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Zwift Community Live broadcast of the Zwift E-Crit Series Central Race presented by CycleOPs. And we are out onto the course with the men's and women's racing right now, as riders are going to be tackling again 7 laps of the Volcano Crit course out there today. And we do want to take a look at the current series standings for the Crit series, as they have been racing for 3 weeks. We are into the 4th week right now of the racing out on Zwift for to find the top 3 amongst each one of the North American regions. We do have an East region, a Central region, and a West region, in which we are looking for 3 of the top men and women in each one of those regions, and a wild card that will come out of North America. You must race in the region in which you are located in order to qualify for the Central Indoor Championships. Currently, the leader amongst the men is Mr. Casey Shum. Mr. Casey Shum is currently leading things out. I do see him out in the race currently right now. Casey Shum followed up by Greg Leo, riding for Team Draft. So Team Experimental leading it out there. Also in the East Series, we did see Casey's teammate Scotty Weiss throw down, but this is a tie currently for first place. Actually, Leo and Shum throwing down for a tie right now. Johnny Rocket in third. This is a hotly contested top 3, actually, with Johnny Rocket in there as well. Just 2 points behind, currently sitting with 3 races. Then we do see it start to level out a little ways down here. Scotty Weiss actually is not able to qualify for this, as he is an East region. I wonder if they are going to be removed from there by the organizers. But Tim Sullivan, followed by Clayton Hepner, Mike Schwartz, Corey Meza is also in there as well. So we'll have to wait and see how things pan out with the organizers. We get more official results there, as this is the top 3 that we are looking at, though, currently for the results. Tim Sullivan in there, though, trying to grab, as well as Clayton there, trying to grab some points to get in that top 3 and make it in amongst the men for the top 3 out of the Central region. Kim Beezer has been dominating the series here with 3 races so far. Anna Rogers is in there as well. Melissa Hunter, I did see her saying she was signing up and jumping into this race, and it's good to see her out on course if she was able to make it. I do see her out on course amongst women right now. So her, Anna Rogers, it looks like Kim Beezer. Melissa's gonna maybe with 1 race be able to catch up to Kim. We'll have to see if that does end up playing out for her and get into that top 3, maybe at least with Anna there as well. I do see A. Rogers in the race as well. So we're gonna have to see how that plays out with the women. Let's go ahead and jump in to the racing with the men and the women as they do head out onto course. My mouse is giving me all kinds of issues here, but here we go. With the women currently, we are seeing, it looks like Melissa and Anna El Sensitz out of what is El Sensitz? Lisa Sensitz, I believe, is how I'm supposed to pronounce that. I'll double check that real quick. Also making the lead group right now. No gaps currently amongst the women just yet. Lisa with 2 races only out on Zwift actually total. So only races that she's done that I'm seeing right now is in this series. So definitely a rider who has shown up to racing out on Zwift specifically with the goal to try and win this series. So it's good to see her hammering away out here amongst the women, and we'll see if she can take that top 3. It is definitely still anyone's game at this point. Kim most likely going to walk away with the overall win unless they do a best of for the series here. But Kim currently with almost 60 points, and so as long as she shows up, she should be able to grab quite a few points, unless we do get a few women starting to populate these races. We start to get 10, 20, 30 women jumping into the Central, East, and West races. Well, then things might start to change up a little bit amongst the women's race, and then maybe a little bit more contesting for the points out there right now. You hear that, women out there, jump into the race. You got all these points available, And the top 3 is still not decided. And you could still be able to punch that ticket if we get enough women showing up and grabbing those points out there in order to steal a couple of these spots away. But Kim Bees are currently dominating up in those high 50 points, almost 60 points. But we do see Melissa Hunter out there from Team Fearless, and she's got 20 points after one race. That means she won the only race that she showed up to. Back in with the men, we already see some attacks taking place. Schwartz is up here with JK. We do see Weiss in there as well, working for his teammate Casey Shum, who is the current series leader. We'll have to see how Shum as well as the rest of Team Experimental play this out. Greg Leo has shown up as well. It looks like from Team Draft, currently 2nd place overall. Johnny Rocket is in there. Rick Barbera showing up to support his teammate Johnny Rocket, it looks like here. So KRT showing up in 4th. Barbera not a part of the current series overall right now. Well, he's sitting in 18th. He's got 2 points for 18th right now. Excuse me. No, he's got 13 points with 2 races. Excuse me. Barbera could make his way into the standings for, I don't know about a top 3 at this point. It's 57, 57, and 55 amongst the top runners here. But Barbera here, I think, can be playing a little bit of domestique for the likes of Rocket now. But Team Experimental watching out for the KRT boys most likely. JK is here as well, coming out of the land down under there. In Australia, and so unable to actually be a part of the series, but definitely showing up to try and maybe do some work amongst the racers here, as we do see Rooney also from Team Experimental going to be working for Casey Shum. It looks like Team X, as always, showing up in force. Again, we do have social media integration. If you would like to interact with us at all with the social media integration, you can do so. You can comment over at the Facebook or post or over at Twitter. To do so, all you got to do is tweet at Z Community Live. Tweet at Z Community Live. We did have Fish earlier saying, "Come on, Scotty, USA, USA," and he actually cheered him on to a W actually in the East E Crit actually just recently. So if you would like to do so, you can interact directly over at Twitter with at Z Community Live. You can also comment on the Facebook post, as we do have, I believe, the correct post found over at Zwift Community Live. Yes, we do, and you can actually interact directly over there as well. So, and as we do have riders, it looks like all within the top 20, I believe, have made. There were 37 that showed up today. I went to 15th currently in this front pack here. Looks like C. Richards and Esco. Jardine also from CIS Racing. 22nd currently, it looks like. 20th here, Esco. These boys will be grabbing 1 or 2 points, but not going to be in the running for any of the points for the top 3 in the series. Rocket here, Shum, and Leo. Those are your top leaders right now. I'm looking over at the current standings, though. Sullivan from Team EN is in here, 4.0 watts per kilogram. We'll give him a ride on. Definitely a rider to watch out for a jump in the series. Clayton Hepner as well, 41 points currently for Hepner. And as I look through here, as Hepner made this group out here today, I'm not seeing Clayton at the moment. I did see him make a comment, though, about being in the race here, perhaps under a separate name. I'll see if I can find Hepner out there out on course, or perhaps some sort of a dropout. We'll have to wait and see where Hepner is ending up, or perhaps Clayton Hepner is going under a separate name. Oh, no, there's C. Hepner. Excuse me. Sorry about that. I thought he was a US of A, but coming out of Canada. Hepner definitely in the race as well, currently sitting in 5th place overall. Mike Schwartz is in there as well with 39 points. These boys in the top 6, top 3. I mean, Corey Meza is there as well. Meza is also sitting in 7th place, currently a top 10 rider. Watch out for these riders to try and make something out of this volcano course today, as it has been a lot of heads-up sprints with large packs that were all about how you tactically timed it. If these riders are just simply stronger, they may be able to get away, cause some damage, get away from Shum. As Shum, I think, has been timing things well with his sprint, but there may be some riders in amongst this group that are just simply stronger that might be able to pull away from Shum out there. But Shum now with the counterattack, 6 laps to go, throwing a little bit of caution to the wind perhaps, Rooney from Team Experimental here, sitting in, allowing his teammate to get away, trying to allow Shum to go for a solo TT effort, maybe not wanting to come down to a sprint. We'll have to see if he can get away at this point. 5.1 watts per kilogram. Rooney now slowing things down at the front here. Barbera as well from Team KRT now making his way to the front. Going to put some work in for the Johnny Rocket man here, who's also sitting within the top 3 for the overalls right now. It does look like for the women now, let's go ahead and see what is happening amongst them, as we do have, it looks like Hunter again. We saw this last time, walking away. She's done one race out on Zwift so far, and now one race out on Zwift for the series so far, a solid 20 points, and already walking away with this one again, looking to grab that another 20 points and get that win for Team Fearless out there today. Beezer trying to close it down. KRT doesn't look like it's going to happen though out there today. Barbera now I do see actually from the KRT team with a dropout over in the men's race. So Barbera no longer going to be involved in the race out there today. Fructose is there, it looks like, with Leo. And now the KRT team has lost one for these front runners. Shum now 3.1 watts per kilogram, 158 beats per minute. Meza now, your top 5 or 6 or so still sitting in as well. Shum, Hepner, Johnny Rocket. Where's the Rocket? Maybe that's why Barbera fell off pace, as they're looking for Rocket. Rocket with a dropout. No, boys and girls, something has happened to the Rocket from KRT. He's currently your second place overall, and he has dropped out and he has quit, it looks like. He has logged out. KRT, everyone logging out. I think there's a whole lot of conversation in KRT right now going on, and I think the Rocket had some sort of mechanical. The team bus is unable to get him back into the race. Maybe he blew up his trainer. Maybe he blew up his bike. I mean, at least get across the finish line. No, Johnny Rocket. No, no, no. And this is too bad to see. Some sort of major mechanical there for the man from KRT. He was currently sitting in the overalls right now. He was our, it looks like, third place with 55 points. He was sitting in that third place, only 2 points off from Leo, and had some sort of a mechanical issue out on Zwift. No pause button out on Zwift, boys and girls, and it looks like without that, we are going to have one dropping off from that top 10. Tim Sullivan, Clayton Hepner, licking their chops right now, knowing that there are some points up for grabs. Mike Schwartz, Corey Meza, all with some opportunity in front of them to grab some points right now and try and get into the next spots up ahead. But they are still 15 points or so behind the Rocket man. He still can bring this back. He's going to have to get some W's out there, but he logged out. He didn't continue on. And that's telling me there was some sort of a major issue actually with his setup actually. So that's too bad to see. And we'll have to wait and see if he does come through with some sort of a issue here. Rick Barbera is saying in trouble. And so that is not good to hear. I'm hoping Rocket is okay, as it sounds like there's some sort of trouble at the household or maybe some sort of an issue over there. I vote best of series to neutralize dropouts and mechanicals. Casey Shum shooting the vote out while he is currently on scene at 5.0 watts per kilogram. Casey killing it. We've got some Jennifer Real with the real cheer. Some real cheering going on here coming from Jennifer Real. Definitely gonna be our our super fan of the day from Jennifer Real, saying go Melissa Hunter now up on the front of the race right now, just walking away with this one. She's already got a solid 39 seconds. So Melissa Hunter walking away, but it's going to be Kim Beezer Rogers as well as it looks like Angie in there making the chase, and it's definitely going to matter for those top threes that they do finish it out there today, though, amongst the women. We do see a couple of attacks now taking place for the men, though. Casey Shum right along with Weiss up toward the front. Team Experimental dominating this race so far with the dropouts of the KRT racers right now. Hepner is in there, though. He's looking for that draft, as it's really going to matter for him and these top spots today for the result in order to grab onto a few of these points. Up in that 182 beats per minute, though, suffering for sure. 175 from Shum. These boys are really throwing down, putting everything on the line at this point. They've got 5 to go out here. 17 minutes of racing down, and G Leo here hanging on in amongst the group. Now we do see Frutos able to grab back into the pack then, but it's going to be Reagan off the back with Richard as well off the back, and it looks like with that drafting power just looking to grab on to the group. Frutos just barely able to do so. Schwart here, top 6 contender right now, looking for those points. Going to be sitting in, waiting for the final attack on the uphill as the rider out of the US of A, Schwart right now, able to hang on. Shaitov is here as well. We'll give him a ride on. He is currently in the top. He's 7th place overall right now, looking for a few points as well to try and creep up on Casey Shum, who's currently dominating this series. Him and G Leo currently both at 57 points. Let's go ahead and go over some of the rules of the league, as they are definitely some rules that we need to be aware of for the racing out here today. Oh, and now we are finding ourselves over at this section of the course. We'll have to see if we can get back in with the men's race. Not exactly sure what happened there. We'll see if we can jump in back with the men as soon as possible. We do have Melissa Hunter here still off the front, though. 2.4 watts per kilogram coming for her. I'm going to see if I can actually, I'm going to go ahead, maybe do a ride with Casey's. I do follow Casey. I can't do a turnaround. All right, we're just going to have to do a ride with Casey. We're going to go ahead and do a quick little quit. Ooh, I just saved that. Whoops, that's going to go to my Strava. We do not need that on my Strava one bit whatsoever. But Melissa Hunter still off the front here, 2.6 watts per kilogram. Solid effort so far coming from her. Angie here, 36 seconds back with Beezer and Rogers. Hasn't broken up one bit so far yet. Let's go ahead and get a quick little log in here and see if we can get back in with Casey and the rest. Ride with button going to give us a little bit of advantage here, as I do follow almost all the racers are in the race right now. Zwiftpower.com is going to give us also an idea of what is taking place for the rules for this series, as I go ahead and click on the live information for the race information. If you haven't, head on over to Zwiftpower.com. There's race information as well as the live racing embedded over there. Definitely go ahead and check that out. All right, here we go. So ride with Casey. He's going to help us out here, get us back into the event. So, and it looks like I left the event on accident, though. It's too bad that I did. So maybe it's going to help me out, though, here with this. And it looks like it did. It did get me right back in. It looks like Melissa resting up a little bit, 32 seconds. We'll see if she can hold on to that. But it does look like it does give me 6th place. I see in 9th place here, so I can still see the event placing. So that's nice to see. But we will still be mixed up with a whole lot of other riders, though, that are not a part of the event. Just so you guys know, I believe we still will see plenty of them out on course still. So, the Zwift Crit Series presented by CycleOPs, a series that will be looking for the top 10 North American men and women in the overalls that will be invited to a live e-racing final in January to determine who will be crowned the Zwift Crit Series North America champion. Location and date to be announced for that final. If you want to get involved, you can still join into the A's and the B's. The A's are for the men only and the B's are for the women only. Expect the racing to be 4.0 watts per kilogram or higher. And that all are welcome, but definitely going to be some fast racing out there. For the North American, now the North American is a little bit more complicated. The series is divided into 3 North American regions, the East, Central, and West. Points are awarded for the first 20 North Americans in each one of the races in reverse order from 20 points down to 1, from 20th, first to 20th place. You must compete in the region that you reside in to be eligible for the final. So only people who are from the East region, the West region, or the Central region can compete in their region. And those are all listed over in the race information on Zwift.com/events for each one of the races. In addition, there will be one wild card that will be chosen by Zwift HQ, bringing the total number to 10. So there will be 3 from each region and then one wild card at the end of the racing. Let's go ahead and see here real quick. Good luck to Casey. I'll see you next race. Jonathan Giron is saying, sorry to hear, Johnny Rocket. Johnny, let me know what happened. I'd love to know. If you want to jump in actually to our Discord channel, I can actually do so. We have a little chat about what's taking place. Always. Also, it would be great to see you over there. I can give you a link. If you're interested, I'll shoot that on your way. If you are interested in that, I can definitely give you that information. So looking through here, we do see it is going to be now top 10 or so amongst the riders right now for this central race. Tim Sullivan definitely going to be benefiting right along with Meza. Meza trying to give it a little kick here up toward the front, 7 watts per kilogram. And as we've been talking about all night long, this race is one that has a little bit more advantage to the strongman. It's not so tactical. It's not as flat of a race. So it's definitely going to have a lot more ability to try and break away because it continually comes at you. It has these uphill grinds that are short and steep, but there's not a lot of time in between them. And so with these attacks that you can continually throw out, you can definitely whittle things down a lot more out on the volcano circuit. So it's definitely going to be a little bit more of an advantage to riders that have just the straight up power to try and break away from the rest of the riders out there today. Jay Atkins here, 10 miles in actually here. Going to be on the lap though, it looks like here. This is most definitely the front runners currently, as we do have Casey Shum, current series leader, with Leo here following very closely, not letting him get away anywhere at this point. Shaitov in 7th place, I believe, overall. Schwartz still in there up toward the front, top 6 rider in and amongst these boys. So we do have, it looks like for the women still, Melissa off the front. But here's the thing. She went super early, but now fading 1.8 watts per kilogram. But 126 beats per minute. Looks like she's resting up, allowing herself a little bit of reprieve on the front end of this race here. Maybe, is she waiting up for the rest of the riders at this point? This is an interesting thing to see. It's not a full all-out TT effort, it looks like here from Melissa, waiting for them, almost egging them on perhaps, or waiting up for Angie. This is interesting to see. Only 13 seconds up, and perhaps going to work with Rogers here, her teammate, to try and get away from Beezer from the KRT team here. And, you know, it actually matters where Kim places at this point, because if she continues to place behind Angie and Rogers in the series, they may be able to whittle away at her lead in the series, because 15 points might be able to start to get nibbled away at, and Melissa might be able to take the overall away from Beezer if she does show up consistently throughout the rest of the races. We'll have to see how that ends up playing out. Depends on how many women show up for the rest of these races and start to steal some of these points away. Melissa now kicking into 6 watts per kilogram there real quick, looking to maybe get away from Angie, or no, maybe waiting up for Angie and try to work with her in order to open up this gap a little bit more. We'll have to see what Melissa's up to here. I'd have to assume with that low heart rate that she's playing games a little bit here with the rest of the group here. Not much to say. Zwift companion app freezing. Took the risk using it. Bluetooth is more responsive than NT Plus, but when it fails, it fails. Sorry to hear that, Jonathan Giron. So Johnny Rocket looks like he'll be back, but it looks like he had some sort of an issue with the dropout with ANT Plus today and was unable to keep his setup connected. So Johnny Rocket will be back next week. Gio, we have some G Leo mixer sniping. Listening to tactics, what is real, what is smoke show, Casey Shum is saying, and that's the risk of streaming during live competitions. You can put a solid delay though on your just put a delay. A lot of streamers within esports who do virtual events, if it's not a LAN event, they'll stream their competition, but they'll put a 2-minute delay on their stream so that it does not give anybody any information. You can put a delay on your stream, so go ahead and do that, and you might be able to get away with it without any sniping coming on through. We do have a couple of attacks now coming on through here as they make their way through their halfway point in the race. They're about halfway done here. Well, maybe about 3 laps to go out there, I believe, as they make their way through this next section out of course. Everybody dropping off those. You can see all of the power-ups actually being dropped off that are not desired right now. All those drafting power-ups, not going to be anything that anybody really wants to see as they come through with 3 laps to go. 3 laps to go out on course today. 3 laps to go out on course, as it does look like it's going to be up toward the front of the race here. Going to be Casey Shum, Scotty Weiss, Big E, as well as Schwartz, and then it will be Jay Rooney, Kosman, Shum, Hepner off the back. JK trying to get back on terms, actually, it looks like, as they make their way through the start-finish line. We actually do have live replay, instant replays here, boys and girls. Let's give a little test to our instant replay. This is them coming through the start finish line here for their lap number 4. Sullivan moving his way forward there. It does look like a lot of power-ups were dropped there. And 3 to go. That is going to be the current situation there as they make their way through out on course. So solid effort there from the riders that make their way into the 3 to go. And hopefully we'll be able to get some good images for the sprint out there today. Now we do see a little bit of attack here coming from, it looks like Schwartz, actually, always in that pink and white kit, as we are seeing him up on the front there. And I think he is currently sitting in 6th place overall amongst the riders in this, looking to move up about 3 points, 3 places. It's definitely going to be a battle for those top spots today, as there's going to be an advantage to be had today for some of the riders, as Johnny Rocket is out of the race today. So we'll have to see how this ends up playing out amongst them. Again, if you do want to interact with the broadcast, you can do so by shooting us a question, shooting us a comment over at Zwift Community Live. And a couple of comments that did come through earlier. Casey Shum voting for best of series to neutralize dropouts, mechanicals. I think a best of in the series would be kind of cool, actually, for sure. And hopefully we'll see if that does end up coming through here. But you can go ahead and tweet at Z Community Live. Let's see your Zwift setups. Let's hear who you think is going to win. I think Melissa definitely stomping on the women's race, but she waited up for Angie. It looks like Angie's now out of Australia working together with her. She can't win the race, actually, Angie. So perhaps she is working with another strong rider, actually, out of the land down under in Australia there in order to try and get away. I think Angie actually riding for Team Fearless. So I think that's what's happening there. Angie and Melissa working together to try and get away with some time there from Kim Beezer. Beezer there with a whole lot of Fearless girls working together to try and get as many points away from her as possible. Ruthless tactics out on Zwift today. Dude, looks like Carissa here. Good, Carissa, good to see you. It says, oops, late to the party. Oh, it's the old times when Nathan would accidentally go back to himself. I think best of plus extension would be better than just an extension, Carissa is saying. That way you don't get punished for being unavailable in December, but you also don't get punished for technical problems. Carissa, great point over at the Twitch feed. If you're wondering where I'm reading that and you're watching watching on Facebook currently, make sure to head on over to twitch.tv/Zwift Community Live. Hit that follow button over there. That's the place that we are focusing for all things live streaming on Zwift. We also have a community out on the Twitch space, actually, that you can stream to. If you want an example of how to do that, I'm going to go ahead and bring up actually the Twitch feed right now. And right here, you can actually see in the on the broadcast, here is where you can actually hit follow. Right here, I actually also follow. There's a subscribe button. You can also get bits and give bits to people, but there's also a community that we are currently streaming to. Let's go ahead and see here real quick. I hit this edit button for Zwift Community Live. And let's see if it's not going to bring it up for me right now. Now we have Inception like crazy, but you can actually stream to the Zwift community as well as the fitness community, as there are different communities that you can stream to that people can find you. And there's actually a big push on Twitch right now for a fitness community to grow specific to fitness. So definitely go ahead and check that out. Head on over there. Casey Shum, big attack now coming on here. Here we go. 9 watts per kilogram coming from the riders right now. Huge attack here. A little bit of a gap now opening up as we did see Shum and a few others into those orange numbers just now. Let's go ahead and see if we can get a quick little replay of that, actually, as they did just throw down those huge numbers. Casey Shum, 8 watts per kilogram. Jay Rooney following up there. It was Sullivan as well as Leo. Zimmerman all able to follow. Schwartz was there as well. It's all back together, but now as we are seeing a little bit of a gap went back to Zimmerman, and Leo actually maybe in a little spot of bother as Shum put that attack on. So now it looks like Meza Zimmerman. Leo was able to get back on terms just barely at the back here, 161 beats per minute with 2 laps to go. 2 laps to go. But it was Shum on the front there. We saw that 9 watts per kilogram. Huge effort there coming from Casey Shum to try and get away here. Hepner up toward the front now with Weiss. Zimmerman countering now. We do see 1.3 watts per kilogram though from Zimmerman. Now Zimmerman, I believe, did race just prior to this one. I'm not sure what region he's actually from. We'll have to wait and see how it ends up in the series, but solid effort there coming from Zimmerman. How is Scotty in this race too? John Lyon saying he is working. John Lyon, that is a great question. And he is not able to get points for the series. He will be removed from the series when it comes down to it, but he is able to join in and work with his team members in order to get Casey from Team Experimental the best spot they possibly can. So the races are open to any team member that wants to join in. It's actually a little bit of encouragement to riders to organize teams, get teams organized, get more team members out there in order to try and work together to get your rider to the front. That's why Johnny Rocket had Rick Barbera. He had a couple of KRT riders out there, but as soon as he dropped out, you saw that the KRT members who are out there as well went ahead and jumped out of the race. Zimmerman, actually, good to see Zimmerman here hanging out, and he's giving us a little bit of chatter there. 174 beats per minute, and Adam Zimmerman is actually a part of the West Coast race, and he's just jumping into 2 races prior to even getting into the action here. Oh my goodness. So really throwing down a lot of effort prior, just get a little bit of warm up, no big deal for Adam Zimmerman. Jeez, dude, that's amazing. But too late for me. Gotcha, Zimmerman. Okay, gotcha. A little too late for Zimmerman to be in the West Coast race. So Rick Barbera still out there for a TT. Good to see that, Rick, that you're still out there hammering away, but it's given way to some points today for the likes of Sullivan. Now, Rex was in and amongst these leaders for a while, but it looks like he's fallen off to 133 back, actually. JK just hanging on here, 163 beats per minute here. And West Coast Frank Garcia hype actually coming from Casey Shum as a comment here, as I believe Frank is most likely leading that series, if that's what's happening here. Let's go ahead and see. Frank Garcia actually number 1, Brandon Meltingtallow in second place, 56. This is a very hotly contested series, actually. Sean Harmer, third place, Cunningham there as well, Brett Wakefield there, James McCabe. Man, we've got some racing coming up for you for the West Coast in just a moment here, boys and girls. Don't go anywhere, because at 9:30 p.m. My time, 7:30 p.m. West Coast time. Things are about to blow up for sure, as we've got 4 racers all within 6 points of each other, and then Brett Wakefield just a little bit off the back, looking for those top spots. So definitely don't go anywhere, as we've got another race right after this one. But this one's still got to finish up here, boys and girls. We've got a lap and a half to go, I believe. Lap and a half to go. Meza up toward the front here. And again, the story of the night is that Johnny Rocket has exited the building. He rocketed out of here with a mechanical, and it's opened up a spot here for Sullivan, Hepner, Schwartz, Meza, all to grab some points here. They're all sitting in that top 4 to 7th place, and if they can grab a win out here today, they will rocket right on by Johnny Rocket and hit up that top 3 position and try and hold on to that top 3 position, because the top 3 in this series will get an invite to the live final in January. Now we do have an attack here taking place here from Kosman, 7.1 watts per kilogram coming from him. Schwartz actually is the one, I think, no, JK is the one who integrated this. Kosman trying to follow it up out of Canada, though, as he goes right along. It was actually, it looks like, I believe, the man JK who instigated that. Let's go ahead and take a quick little look again at how that played out there. It looks like that was actually, JK instigated it. Kosman followed it up here. And it looks like it's going to be Kosman, who did get a little bit of a gap, but now we're going back into the volcano again, as we do see that initial attack didn't really pay off, though, with Kosman here up at the front. Nobody went anywhere. Weiss covered that and brought Shum right back into the fold here. Schwartz here, 4.4 watts per kilogram coming from him, though. Mez is still in there as well, and it will be the Big E, 4.1 now, as they head into, I believe, their final lap out on course here today. Gonna head into this bell lap here, boys and girls, and it looks like, from the looks of it, it's going to be Grupo Compacto, calm before the storm here. So calm before the storm. Now, in the women's race, though, Hunter off the front, only 21 seconds, though, and it looks like Angie was caught by Beezer and passed right on up. So Kim Beezer not giving up the ghost just yet, boys and girls. She is definitely in it for the win still. Hunter, who waited up for a little while, maybe regretting that, and she's still got 2 laps to go, at least 2.5 laps to go out here today, boys and girls. She's going to have to put in a solid effort here to hold off Beezer, as Beezer is on the hunt here from the KRT team, looking for those points out there today. So we'll see if Kim can throw down for KRT and bring Hunter back into the fold here. Hunter here, 2.9 watts per kilogram. Beezer now really starting to ramp it up. We'll give him a ride on. Now we'll give Melissa a ride on as well. Angie there from Team Fearless there. Rogers as well. They were trying to play a little bit of team tactics, but I don't know if it's going to work out, as Kim now putting the pressure on, 4.3 watts per kilogram, absolute suffering, head down, trying to make this happen right now, bringing back the points. Melissa here off the front, but 2.4 is all she seems to have right now, and we'll see if this ends up playing out for Melissa Hunter after that early attack, boys and girls. Who's going to do it? Will Beezer be able to bring it back? Rick Barbera saying, go Kim, go Kim. Got a fan club here from the KRT right now cheering on Kim Beezer for that KRT racing team. Will Kim be able to pull this off, or will Team Fearless be able to take the win with Melissa Hunter? Melissa Hunter's won every race that she's done so far, and that would be 1. Will she make it 2 on the day? But with the men now, we are in the final lap, and here we go, boys and girls. They are about to head back into the volcano, a little bit of an uphill grind, and then exit the volcano in the 2-tier downhill, and then it'll be a 2-tier uphill for the final sprint. Who's got the aero power-ups? Who's got the further power-ups? Who's got the power in the legs to make the win today? Will it be Casey Shum, current series leader? G. Leo, tied for that series lead right now. Will he be able to make the sprint to the line? Will Schwartz, Shaitov, or Will Hepner, or some of these other riders who are now in and amongst this group right now be able to throw down big watts and try and grab that first place position and move up in the standings? They're a little ways behind Shum and Leo and Johnny Rocket, but this is an opportunity here today to try and move up in those standings and try and grab that top 3 position. They're all sitting in that top 7 right now. It's all on the line here, boys and girls. Last half a lap. Here we go. 41 minutes of racing so far. Grupo Compacto. Who is it going to be? Well, Meza, Sullivan, Shaitov is in there. Who else is in there? Looking, Kosman is in there as well. There's a few in here. Schwartz looking for those extra points. Boys and girls, is it going to happen? I'm not sure. Shum definitely has a lead-out train with Mr. Scotty Weiss to try and pull this off, though, today. Looking through, excuse me, guys. The lungs still not amazing, as you guys can tell, but we're working through as well. The lungs at full-on FTP VO2 max capacity, trying to get all of the commentary out for you today. Shaitov now 3.1 watts per kilogram. Here we go at the front end of this race. The uphill grind, we're not going to have the same flat course out on London today. It's going to be an uphill grind. Who has got the solid effort to the top of the climb here to pull it off? It's definitely going to be a change up, I think, here, as we've got Meza 5.1 watts per kilogram, 7 watts per kilogram now coming from Meza. Will he be able to pull away here at this point? Is he going to go early is the question, though. Might be a little bit too much too early. If he does, may try and make that happen to the line here. Rooney now kicking. Shum going really early. 8 watts per kilogram from him real quickly here. Leo now holding on. These are your 2 leaders in the series right now, right on the front of the race, not letting anybody go anywhere just as of yet here. So here we go here. Kosman, Shaitov, Zimmerman all together. Rooney, now Hepner there as well. Now 4.3 watts per kilogram, 176 beats per minute. Big E, 171. Hepner, 176. Kosman, Weiss going. Weiss attacking. He's trying to take points maybe from the rest of the riders here perhaps, but Leo now 9.6 watts per kilogram. Here comes a feather power up though from the Kosman at the front in the Trek Segafredo kit though, but here comes also Schwartz now with a feather power up. Who's got the arrow is going to be the question now as they make their way around the course. Now it's going to be Shum making his way to the front. No, Schwartz now. Now it's going to be Shum, Kosman, Sullivan now up to the front as well. But here comes G. Leo, boys and girls. G. Leo now at the front with the arrow power up. I think it's going to be Leo. Leo now hammered away from the rest of the riders. Weiss now trying to close it down, but it's going to be Leo. Leo at the front with a ride on him as well now, because I think he is walking away with this one. G. Leo followed up. Oh, trying to take the points from him, but will not be able to do something. Will be Casey Shum next. What an effort there by Leo. Oh my goodness, boys and girls. It's G. Leo, Hepner next, Sullivan next. Amazing effort there all around. Let's take a look at that again. Oh my goodness, Leo there, 13 watts per kilogram, just barely able to hold off Weiss. Weiss with the kick right at the end of the line there, almost was able to come around, but it was Leo with a solid jump over Weiss and Shum, able to take all the points there on the day. 20 points for G. Leo across the line. Killer effort there from the man coming from the draft team. Interesting to see Scotty grabbing points from Casey, though. I think that was a mistake, actually, on the day from Mr. Scotty Weiss, because he grabbed an extra point from Casey Shum there. So there might be a little discussion inside of Team Experimental about what happened there with Scotty Weiss grabbing those points from Mr. Casey Shum on the day. Let's go ahead and see what is being said here. Let's go, Kosman. Help me out like old times. Soak up those points, Jonathan Guerin saying. So I'd love to hear about the old times there. It sounds like Kosman perhaps racing with Jonathan Green, just like old times. We'll have to see if something maybe going on there between those riders. So now looking through here, let's go ahead and see what the live results have to say as we do have them up. We're going to keep eyes on the women as they're heading into their final lap here, but will be Greg Leo, followed by Scotty Weiss, Casey Shum, Clayton Hepner, going to be moving up in the series as he was sitting in, I believe, 5th place. So I think he's going to be moving up ahead of Sullivan, as well as, let's go ahead, we move, as well as, I believe, a few of the others. Sullivan actually back in 8th place. So Hepner getting the best of this series. I think Scotty did that just in case Hepner was coming on and he was trying to get those points away from Hepner, most likely. And it might come down to those finals, actually, points, those 1 or 2 points at the end of the series. Corey Meza here in 11th place, going to be taking a solid 9 points. Schwartz, they're unable to capitalize on this. So Tim Sullivan, Hepner there as well, and Shaitov all capitalizing a little bit on Johnny Rocket, unable to hang on to the finish line there. Let's take a look at it one more time as the women come around for their last time. This was the effort at the finish line. G. Leo there, 13 watts per kilogram, did that aero power up super early, 176 beats per minute, 100 RPM to the line. Scotty Weiss coming on, grabbing those points as well for Mr. Casey Shum to steal them away from Hepner. Hepner was 3 seconds back, it looks like. Solid effort, though, still from Hepner there across the line in 4th place. Then it was Sullivan and Big E. That was the finish there we just saw from the riders in the central race for the men. Solid effort all around. Now amongst the women here, though, what is going on? Is Melissa playing games or is she being chased down? 140 beats per minute currently coming from Melissa Hunter here. She was caught by Beezer, and interesting situation here going on. She's got 9 seconds right now. Now kicking into 7 watts per kilogram. She's playing games here, boys and girls, it looks like, as we've got Melissa Hunter here, 14 seconds immediately over Beezer here, 182 beats per minute. Kim Beezer, she's actually given her a run for her money now at this point, and a little bit of an attack now we've seen from Hunter here, trying to get Kim to work as hard as she possibly can. There might actually be a little bit of a motivation to give her a solid workout out here today, because she has given her definitely one of the hardest races of her life, I think, here at 180 beats per minute with 1 lap to go. Kim Beezer here trying to chase down Melissa Hunter from Team Fierce. G. Leo saying that was a hard finish. Well, it was well earned with that solid effort to the line there. So nice job out there, Leo, with that finish. Amazing job as you were able to take the win there with that aero power up out there today. Let's go ahead and bring in another. We're going to make sure that we got the right replay here for the women as well, as they are making their way around course as Beezer and Hunter. Angie here now, though, only 3 seconds back. Interesting to see. Closing it down. Rogers is there as well from Team Fearless. These two not giving up just yet, as Angie out of Australia saying, Rogers, just hang on to the wheel here. Fearless for the win. Can you do it? 8 meters back, though, at this point. Not sure it's going to happen, as Angie now kicks into 5.3 watts per kilogram, looking to get away from her teammate now at this point and close down maybe the gap there to Beezer. Just pacing Rogers now, 2.9 watts per kilogram, saying, get on my wheel. She gets on the wheel here, pulling her back in. Fearless just dominating the women's race out here today, making it so difficult on Kim from the KRT. Looking through here, Leo go draft, saying Adam Zimmerman, cheering on his favorite racer, it sounds like here for G. Leo, coming from Adam Zimmerman there. All good. SW was a beast. We all had a 3-second dropout before the final climb. That was my orange attack. I thought so. I saw that as well. So definitely interesting situation there on the dropout there. We are looking at my avatar down below here. Not sure what's going on with that. And now the disappearance of the Gara from everything out on course right now. I'm going to see if I can find the women as they make their way around the course from the main look here. There's Melissa now out on course here. 2.1 watts per kilogram. Bees are only 10 seconds back. We'll go ahead and give her a ride on as they're making their way around. Angie now 7. This is still such a close race. Look at this, boys and girls. Super close race. Melissa, though, 123 beats per minute. She is toying with them now at this point, I think. Team Fearless dominating out on course here today, but Kim not messing around at 181 beats per minute. Half a lap to go here, boys and girls, and it's all coming down to this here. Actually, let's go ahead and change up our replay, actually, as it's going to be from our main feed here, and we definitely are going to have a battle to the line. They're going to definitely make it exciting, it looks like, in this final few K. Half a lap to go here as we are 19.6 in, 49 minutes of racing. Melissa giving another kick, getting her sprint efforts in, trying to get away from Kim. Rogers and Angie here now almost close it down to Kim here. Not sure it's going to happen. Greta, Shum, and X. So Mike Schwartz giving some congratulations there to Team Experimental as they're still leading things out there. But Leo actually takes the first place away, I believe, from Casey with that win. And Johnny's going to be falling down a little bit, the Rocket Man, a little bit down in the series because of that dropout. Melissa Hunter now with some dropouts. Needs to stop messing around maybe a little bit because those dropouts from the course here. She needs to just throw down and get across the line as quick as possible because, you know, getting to the line, if you can, as fast as possible might be the thing to do, because you could have an ENT plus dropout. You could have a network issue. Your ISP could just go kaput. And next thing you know, you're no longer on course. And so getting across that line as fast as possible might be in her best interest at this point. Here we go with Beezer now, 29 seconds here. And it looks like Angie Rogers here not going to be closing that down. So it will be 19 points to Beezer. But Melissa Hunter winning every race she's entered so far. It will be 2 on the day as we got her feed coming through here on the main feed right now as she is coming around. Kim Beezer here on her second feed there, 3.8 watts per kilogram, 178 beats per minute, 157 here from Melissa as she comes to the line. Casey Shumstein, I can't figure out that last hill sprint finish. Thanks. I can't seem to figure out how close to deal on the course here. That is a difficult one. I think my experience is if you got it, you go. 30 seconds all the way to the line from right here, right where Melissa's at, and you just keep going. If you got it, you just keep going from right here, nonstop. If you don't got it, you double kick. You kick once to stay, and then you throw down the arrow power up at the bottom of this climb, but you have to make sure that they do not get away from you. You got to throw down a pretty solid effort to make sure they do not get away, though. So it looks like Melissa here going to give us a show, 6.8. Can we get some orange numbers here, Melissa? Melissa Hunter going to be taking the W out here today for Team Fearless in that more kit here, 7.2 watts per kilogram. Where's the orange numbers here, Melissa? 161 beats per minute, up and out of the saddle. Where is the kick to the line? Will she have it? There they are. 9.1 watts per kilogram. 731 watts we're seeing from her as she crosses the line. Melissa Hunter for the win across the line. Team Fearless going to be taking it here as she crosses the line. But Angie here just a little ways back. It's going to be Beezer there as well. Going to be holding on. It looks like 176. Will Rogers and Angie be able to close it down, though? That's the question. Second place currently from Kim Beezer. Here's an arrow power up trying to hold them off. It looks like she is going to do just that as we see the KRT racer here in second place. Going to be throwing down an arrow power up and staying away from the rest of the pack. Solid effort there from Kim as she crosses the line. Your current series leader in this race series right now. Second place going to Kim Beezer. Then we do see Angie and Rogers battling it out. Team Fearless. Who's it going to be across the line? Rogers should take those points right now. It's been her best interest to do so, and she will grab those as well. Solid effort there coming from Rogers for the top 3. So in the women's category, it was looks like Let's go ahead and see if we can play this out as we are seeing Kim Beezer here. As we are seeing, it looks like Melissa Hunter across the line. She was your first place finisher. Solid effort from her. That is her finish on the day. Then we are seeing it looks like the KRT rider here, Kim Beezer as well, getting across the line. That was her second place finish. Solid effort from her. A little bit of a kick to the line there with that arrow power up. And then it was a Rogers there also, from Team Fearless in third place there. That was her across the line with her teammate who worked with her, Angie, coming out from the land down under. So solid result there for all the girls in the top 3 today. So solid effort, girls, and solid effort to everybody out on course there today. Let's go ahead and take a look at the results real quick one last time. We are seeing Corey Meza say, GG to whoever countered up the climb. Bringing it back was hell. Nice job out there, Corey, and good to see you in the broadcast today. Corey Meza says, or Casey, so appreciate it. And the animation, it was great. Time to go, Kim. Rick Barbera was saying earlier. Good race to all. I attacked as frequently as I could. Finish was intense. And here we go. So thanks a lot, everybody, for tuning in. The current results are over at zwiftpower.com. These are preliminary results. And it was Greg Leo, Scotty Weiss, Casey Shum, Clayton Hepner, Igor Shaitov, Big E. Zimmer. Big E might be moving up a little bit, actually. Watch out for him. The top 6, actually. Rounding out the top 20 will be Jarrett Atkins, Rick Barbera, Chad Richards, Scott Jardine, Michael Rex Schumacher as well. Melissa Hunter takes the W there, followed by Kim Beezer, Anna Rogers, and Angie C. She might be able to still stay within the top 3 if she keeps on showing up, as it's all about showing up for the women's races for sure out there. My name is Nathan Garrett, coming at you from Zwift Community Live. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Make sure to head on over to our Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Zwift Community Live, for push notifications of any time that we do go live with anything on ZCL. We'll be back in a half an hour with the West Crit Series presented by CycleOPs out on Zwift for another round of 7 laps out on the Watopia Volcano counterclockwise. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in, and we'll see you in 30 minutes for the next race.